Let's go over how to turn your iPhone into a high quality webcam with the new continuity camera, so your videos can go from looking like this to this. All right, so in this video, we're gonna cover how to do this, how to get the continuity camera working. It's really easy. We're gonna cover the technical aspects of this, what resolution you're gonna get out of your camera. We're gonna cover how to control the settings of the camera and the audio. And then I'm gonna talk about a couple of things I wish were a little bit better or that are annoying, and what technical aspects and elements you need. But if you wanna jump around to any part of this video, we got chapter markers down below, so just click ahead and jump around if you got a specific question you want answered. All right, so first up, how to do this. Super easy. You just want to get your camera mounted on some sort of stand. We'll cover a little bit of that later. And then you just need to make sure that your iPhone and your computer are on the same Wi-Fi network. They don't even need to be plugged in for this to work. But if they're not on the same Wi-Fi network or on the go, you can just plug them in directly. And then as long as your computer trusts your camera or phone, which it should, it'll work. The first time you're doing this, a little pop-up will show up that gives a little bit of an explanation of continuity camera. But then after that, anytime you're in a device or an app that uses a webcam, your iPhone will show up as a webcam device. And then when you click that webcam device, a little thing will pop up on the back and your iPhone will enter webcam mode. Now this is super awesome because, as you can see, the camera that we're using here is way higher quality than anything that comes out of our computer. And so you've got a really, really, really good looking camera. And so speaking of that, let's jump into the technical aspects of this. Now, this is something I wish was a little bit better, but you're only gonna get 1080 HD video out of your webcam. I wish it would do 4K because these cameras are 4K cameras, but it's just doing 1080. Part of the reason is for the next interesting feature, that this will work in portrait or landscape mode. So right now I'm in portrait mode, and you can see I get a bit more of a wider field of view. If I shift this a bit, and I've got a stand here that can accommodate this. So if I shift this and rotate it, you can see that I am now cropped in and much bigger, but the video did not rotate. It automatically corrected and adjusted, and I am still in a 16:9 horizontal frame with everything still looking good, and the camera, my phone, is vertical. So this is handy if you're kind of in a tricky bind of how to mount your camera. You can even just lean it against something if you need to use it, and you don't have to worry about your video image being turned completely sideways. It'll automatically correct for that. I'm gonna go back to wider field of view, so you can see it goes back to the wider field of view, and shift this back in here. So cool that it'll work in landscape or portrait, but if you go vertical, it's going to zoom in and crop out more stuff because it has to crop the sensor and still maintain that 1080 HD resolution. Now, that is a nice feature. I do wish it gave you the option to control if you do want your video to rotate 90 degrees, because for my use case, sometimes I do want to record vertical videos and have this wide field of view and this high quality, but that's not an option right now. So now once you've got your camera connected, you're gonna have some optional settings show up in your control center. So if we click on the little control center icon up here, we can see over here, we've got a new video icon, and we click that, it gives us video effects. And so these are some of the same effects that you might find on FaceTime when you're using your phone. So we've got center stage. And so what center stage is going to do is now it's actually switching from the normal field of view camera to the wide angle camera and tracking my face and cropping it. So if you're doing something where you're standing or talking around, this is going to follow my face and reframe the shot so that I'm always in frame. So if I move around, is going to follow me. Now, the other one I could turn on is portrait mode, and you could have these on at the same time, but I'm gonna turn center stage off. So we're going back to the other camera, and portrait mode adds a fake blur in the background. A lot of video chat programs now have this built in, but I feel like the effect that the iPhone does natively, also because it has the actual multiple cameras to fake this, the effect plays off a lot better and looks a little bit more realistic. And then the other option we have too is studio lighting. So this is going to dim the light around my face and just keep my face a bit more highlighted. And I feel like it's like subtle enough where it's a nice touch, but I'm also going to turn that off. And then also, you probably might have seen this in the demo. The other cool thing that you can enable here is desk view. So if I turn on desk view, it's going to ask me to, basically it's going to turn on the super wide angle camera, and then it's going to ask me to crop or frame where my desk is. So I'm on a weird desk right now. I'm just gonna say, yes, that is the desk. And then you can see it has this field of view here where if I'm demoing something or writing something, I can show this screen. This will natively work in FaceTime. If you're using the FaceTime app, you'll have the multiple camera options showing. If you're using any other video chat app, you're gonna have to screen share and then share this window in your Zoom or Riverside or Google Meet or whatever, you'll just have to do this as a screen share to show this desk view while having your webcam up at the same time. And then what I was just doing before with the crop, you can adjust that crop here after the fact as well. Desk cam thing, I mean, it's kind of a cool trick, but I have not really been able to find a good angle of where I would have to place the camera in order to get a good field of view of whatever's on my desk. I also don't have much of a use case for this, so maybe if I was doing some demo thing or some art thing, I would do a little bit more experimenting with this, but I haven't. But from just my initial testing, wherever my camera is mounted near my computer, the desk view angle always kind of sucks. And so I've never really found this very practical. And so we're switching back. Automatically switches back. So when we run desk view 2, it's going to switch to the wide angle camera because it's using that and cropping and correcting for the distortion. So then the field of view is going to be the wider angle. And so the downside, and this also applies to using center stage, the wide angle camera the sensor on that is not as sharp or as detailed as the main camera that I'm using right now. So you're going to lose some sharpness and some detail if you do center stage or if you do the desk view. So under mic options, I'm using this microphone right now, so it's going to show up slightly different. But when I was experimenting with the iPhone as the audio source, it gave me the option of voice isolation, which would be it tries to isolate my voice and kind of block out background noises if I'm somewhere noisy. And then according to Apple's documentation, wide spectrum should also show up here, but wide spectrum has never shown up for me as an option. And so that is opposite of voice isolation. It's picking up more of the surrounding sound. So if you were at a concert or you were out in nature or something and you wanted to record more of the surrounding sounds in your area, that would be the wide spectrum option. It is supposed to show up here. According to Apple's documentation on their support page for continuity camera, it should show up as an option, but it has not. And I don't think it's anything to do with what version phone I'm using. I'm on the iPhone 14 Pro Max. It's a pretty good phone, so it should show up here, but it does not. So I don't know if that's just something that's going to be rolled out in an update and is not currently live. So I have not seen that. If you've seen that, I would love to know in the comments. Overall, it is an awesome, awesome feature. Easy as webcam just pull out of nowhere and light years away of like just about every other webcam out there. A couple of things that I wish were a little bit better. I mentioned this earlier. It caps out at 1080 HD. I wish you could have the 4K option because these are 4K sensors. So I wish that was an option. Hopefully it'll be an option in the future. I also do wish you had control over rotating the phone if you did in fact want to keep it locked as a vertical video instead of auto-correcting and turning it back into a landscape video like this. I do wish you had that option as well. Besides that, overall, phenomenal choice. Another glitch sort of happens, and this is more on the use case of the apps that use webcams, but when I've set this to the webcam of some certain apps, mainly Descript, it has a feature that runs in the background, and sometimes that will call the webcam in the background. So when I'm just kind of using my computer, my phone will enter webcam mode unexpectedly, and when it does enter webcam mode, there's a screen that shows up that says, hey, you're in webcam mode, and like, do you want to disconnect or pause it? It's a bit annoying, and that's more on the end of the app that's calling the webcam, but keep in mind sometimes when you set this to your webcam in some apps, it might make calls to it in the background and then your phone turns into a webcam unexpectedly. Technical aspects of what you need to make sure that this stuff actually works for you. If you're like, hey, this isn't working on my phone or my computer, you need to make sure your computer is updated to the latest operating system. So Ventura right now, you need to make sure your phone is upgraded to the latest operating system. So OS 16. And then you also have to have an iPhone that was introduced in 2018 or later. So that's pretty much the iPhone 11 or the iPhone XR, or any version after that. So there are a couple other features too that will only work with specific models, but for more of that info, I'll have the links to Apple support docs. If you're curious about that, you can check it in the description below. And then another thing too, if you do get a phone call or notification when you are in webcam mode, it's actually pretty clever. If you get a phone call, a little notification will pop up on your computer saying, hey, your phone's getting a phone call, but it won't stop or interrupt anything. And then also notifications, it sort of doesn't vibrate, or it goes into do not disturb mode, so you don't see your notifications, and they don't interrupt the flow of your phone being used as a webcam. So another kind of nice integration where you don't have to worry about stuff turning off your webcam midstream. Now, there is one sort of other obvious thing is like you do need a way to mount your webcam, your phone as a webcam. I'm using a tripod system with a grip that I've got from Ulanzi. I already have this stuff because I film videos with the phone. So this is sort of an overkill but handy setup. There is a clip from Belkin that uses the MagSafe mount to go onto the computer. I've seen mixed reviews of that, but I do kind of want to try it out. I expect more accessories are going to pop up now that this is a fully released feature and a really good feature. So I'd expect to see more mounts, but right now I haven't really seen any great options. So you kind of got to figure out the best thing that works for you. So yeah, that's it. I mean, I think this is a phenomenal recording device. I'm recording the video straight into QuickTime, which kind of gives me the best quality options so far. I'm going to try to experiment and see what I can extract the best quality options out of the iPhone. The thing that I like most about this too is recording videos, because I could just record the videos directly on the iPhone, but there's no way to see the actual video. So here I can actually pull up QuickTime and see and check the video and record it directly on the computer, and makes file dealing a lot easier. So yeah, super excited. It's probably the best feature that has come out of the new iOS upgrades. But yeah, I would love to know what you think. So let me know in the comments. Are you using this? Is this replacing any webcams for you? Is this replacing any like Elgato or other high-end webcams for you? Let me know. Love to hear it. Thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe button if you want more stuff like this, and stick around, watch whatever video is next. I'll see you in the next one.